From some of the messiest, wildest storylines you can imagine to what could have been game-changing WrestleMania matches, here are top 10 scrapped women's storylines in wrestling history. Welcome everyone to Ring the Bell, this is DS, and today we're counting down the top 10 scrapped women's storylines in wrestling history. These are the biggest what-ifs in WWE Women's Division, ideas that could have changed the game, left us gagging, or simply had us asking like, what were they thinking? Alright, so let's dive right in with the first moment. Number 10, Lacey Flair. So remember WWE booked Southern Belle Lacey Evans into a storyline with Ric Flair, pairing them in a situationship that literally nobody asked for, with obviously Ric Flair's daughter Charlotte Flair furious about this, but WWE apparently had big plans for this storyline, culminating into a WrestleMania 37 match between Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair. The storyline aimed to make Lacey one of the top heels in the women's division.
It was typical heel and to go after the title and get it. And I was supposed to get it. It was supposed to be a very entertaining, and it could have been and it would have been, but God had other plans for this mama.
So the drama was sizzling hot, or just really awkward depending on who you ask, but it all came crashing down when Lacey revealed her real-life pregnancy.
I'm pregnant.
Cue Ric Flair dramatically insinuating that he was the father.
I am your father.
Both Rick and Charlotte later admitted that they were not fans of this creative mess.
She most definitely didn't like it.
Lacey's abrupt maternity leave left Charlotte without a meaningful WrestleMania feud, and the storyline was quietly dropped. And this whole debacle left fans wondering, why was this even greenlit from the first place? Number 9, champions who never were. Now, this one's for the Divas stans. Imagine Stacy Keibler as women's champion and Tori Wilson as Divas champion. I think we can all agree that these are probably the most popular Divas to never win a championship in WWE. So first up, let's talk about Stacy. During the build to Taboo Tuesday 2004, rumors swirled that Stacy was booked to win the Fulfill Your Fantasy Battle Royale and dethrone Trish Stratus for the Women's Championship. However, Stacy reportedly felt unworthy of holding the title as a non-wrestler and declined the win. So we see Trish Stratus retain the title in this match. This was a rumor swirling around the internet for more than a decade, and I actually got to ask her personally, in person, if this is indeed true. Now, she didn't give me like specific timeline of it all, but she did confirm that she did decline the offer to become the WWE Women's Champion at one point. Humble queen, right? Now let's fast forward a few years to Tori Wilson. When Divas Championship was introduced, Tori was rumored to be WWE's pick to become the inaugural champion. The plan to solidify her as the face of SmackDown's Divas division. I mean, imagine Tori as the very first Divas champion. It would have been iconic. But last minute creative changes derailed those plans.
Yeah, I have recently heard that. It's kind of depressing to think about. Give me that belt. I deserve it.
Wait, so you didn't know when you were in WWE?
No, we didn't tell us. Didn't tell me.
And sadly, by the time the title was introduced in 2008, Tori had already retired due to back issues. Instead, Michelle McCool became the first Divas champion by defeating Natalya at the Great American Bash. But on the bright side though, we can proudly call them our Hall of Famers now. Thinking about all these huge what-if moments, I just love imagining or sometimes even stress over how things could have gone totally differently. What if this dream match happened? What if a legend never left? And what if everything went exactly as planned? And honestly, I do the same thing in real life. I'll replay decisions, stress over missed opportunities, and wonder if I'm keeping up. And I can't believe it's already February, and I catch myself thinking like, am I already behind this year? But what if progress isn't about some outside timing? What if there is a way to figure out what actually works for you? That's where therapy can help, and today's sponsor, Betterhelp, makes it easier for you. Betterhelp is fully online, so you can connect with one of 30,000 plus licensed professionals with a wide range of specialties and backgrounds from the comfort of your own space. You can fill out a questionnaire and you will be matched in as little as a few days. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at no extra cost. With over 7,000 reviews and a 4.5-star ratings on Trustpilot, it's a platform you can trust. Listen, it's not late. Start fresh with any day of the year with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to betterhelp.com/ringthebell to get 10% off your first month. Number 8, Melina revealed as a man. Alright, so this one's one of the most bizarre pitches in WWE history, so get ready. So we all remember the already controversial storyline where Melina seduced Batista backstage for a deal, and they had probably one of the sexiest moments in WWE ever. I remember watching this as a kid and I was like, whoa. Then what happened next week was that Melina had a special announcement segment suing Batista for sexual harassment.
My body is my temple!
And Batista had to hold a press conference backstage, everything. So this was already on the top of like one of the messiest storylines in WWE. Well, apparently WWE creative had more in their freaking sleeves. The rumor in this shocking twist of the storyline was Melina would reveal that she was secretly a man.
What the
The angle was supposed to humiliate Batista and write Melina off TV in a scandalous fashion, and thankfully Stephanie McMahon put a stop to this idea before it made to television, saying that this storyline would kill Melina's wrestling career. Number 7, AJ Lee's Asylum. In 2012, AJ Lee was the queen of chaos, captivating fans with her unpredictable energy, the wild antics. WWE never want to shy away from pushing boundaries, planned to take her character to the next level by having her written off TV and committed to a mental institute, or how they put it, an asylum. The kicker should eventually return alongside a debuting Dean Ambrose, forming a completely unhinged power duo that would dominate their respective division.
I would like to see it.
This storyline would have leaned heavily into AJ's mentally unstable gimmick, amplifying her already chaotic persona. However, the decision to exploit her real-life mental health struggles drew criticism even before it began. While the idea had potential for high drama and, let's be honest, a little camp, it could have easily crossed the line into poor taste. Instead, WWE pivoted and made AJ the Raw general manager, a role where her erratic energy shined in a more prominent role. And as for Dean Ambrose, he debuted as part of the Shield, carving out his own path in WWE. Looking back, the Asylum storyline is one of those ideas that could have been iconic if done right, but we'll never know if it would have been remembered for its creativity or something that's completely poor taste. Number 6, Eva Marie as SmackDown Women's Champion. Eva Marie's all red everything gimmick was one of WWE's most polarizing acts, and rumors swirled that WWE actually planned to crown her as the inaugural SmackDown Women's Champion. Leaked photos from Belts by Fan, who creates championship belts for WWE, showed side plates with Eva's name adding fuel to the speculation, leaving fans split between outrage and excitement.
Well, yes. Well, no.
The idea leaned heavily into Eva's gimmick of avoiding matches through ridiculous excuses, making her the ultimate heel champion. However, a wellness policy violation led to Eva's suspension and eventual departure from WWE, scrapping this championship storyline entirely. This is what Miss Eva Marie had to say about this, by the way. Have you heard of this rumor?
Yeah, I have. I think that was wild because I had heard that too. I had heard that I was gonna actually get the title at SummerSlam.
Lover or hater, this would have been one of the most chaotic championship reign in history. Number 5, Chyna versus Lita. So this feud had the potential to define an era. WWE planned a 3 pay-per-view series between Chyna and Lita, starting with Chyna retaining the Women's Championship at Judgment Day 2001 and ending with Lita dethroning the 9th wonder of the world. The storyline would have established Lita as the new face of the division while giving Chyna a strong exit. And we all saw the amazing match between the two at the pay-per-view, with Chyna defeating Lita in their first encounter, but Lita said they intentionally pulled back for the planned 2 additional matches.
So we had a 3 pay-per-view program that was slated.
Oh, wow.
So this match, we wanted to intentionally just give a taste and have it be entertaining enough to make people want to see more.
Sadly, Chyna's contract disputes led to her departure after Judgment Day, cutting the feud short before it truly began. The loss of the storyline left a void in the division that was never fully fulfilled. Number 4, Stephanie and Vince incest storyline. Okay, brace yourself, because this one is beyond wild, even for WWE. So when Stephanie McMahon announced her real-life pregnancy in 2006, Vince McMahon, never one to shy away from controversy, pitched a storyline so outrageous and so bad taste it left even the most diehard wrestling fans clutching their pearls. The idea? Vince or Shane McMahon would have revealed as the father of Stephanie's baby. Yes, sadly, you heard that right. This was actually revealed in the Mr. McMahon WWE licensed DVD that came out in 2006. This plan was reportedly meant to add shock value and drama to WWE programming, but it was immediately met with backlash, starting with Stephanie McMahon herself.
Cut the cameras. Deadass.
Thankfully, she flat out refused to participate, shutting the storyline down before it could get off the ground. This pitch is often brought up as one of WWE's most appalling creative suggestions, and it thankfully never saw the light of day. Even by Attitude Era standards, this idea crossed every imaginable line. It's a reminder of how far Vince would go in the names of ratings and shock value. Number 3, Trish versus Lita ladder match at WrestleMania. So Trish Stratus and Lita were originally on track to make history yet again at WrestleMania 21, coming off for their groundbreaking Raw main event in December 2004. The two were set to take their legendary rivalry to the next level. WWE planned a ladder match for the Women's Championship, stipulation never before seen for the women on WWE's grandest stage. And Trish and Lita actually confirmed that their rematch was indeed the plan for WrestleMania.
That would have made sense, right?
Yes.
With all being with all the TLC matches and
The
kind of our
history going back
history.
from us, yeah. But like the WrestleMania match was
That was where we were working towards it. Like, as of January, WrestleMania season began in January, we were working towards a WrestleMania match.
But just as things were heating up, tragedy struck. In January 2005, Lita tore her ACL during a title match with Trish at New Year's Revolution, sidelining her from the planned WrestleMania showdown. And with Lita unable to compete, WWE pivoted real quick, booking Trish Stratus against Christy Hemme, the rookie who just won the Raw Diva Search competition with basically zero in-ring experience. While Trish's incredible ring gear may have stolen the show, the match itself, especially given that it's a WrestleMania match, left a lot to be desired. It's really heartbreaking to think about how this match happening in 2005, the ladder match, could have changed the perception of the women's wrestling during the time when it struggled to be taken seriously. Number 2, Karma versus Beth Phoenix. So when Karma arrived in WWE had a grand vision for Karma's debut storyline, a Hogan versus Andre style feud with Beth Phoenix culminating at WrestleMania. So former WWE creative team writer Freddie Prinze Jr. mentioned on his Wrestling with Freddie podcast that the plan was to have Karma dominate the Divas division, beginning with defeating Michelle McCool for the title. Karma could then barrel through Gail Kim, Natalya, and the storyline would culminate with Beth Phoenix returning from injury to finally dethrone Karma on the grandest stage, WrestleMania.
I kind of gave Kia more information than Beth, and I said, hey, I don't want you to try to bury her or break her or kill her. I want you to seduce her. I want you to bring her to the dark side, so to speak, and have the two of you destroy all the rest of these Barbie doll beauties and show the world what women should be. And at the end, Beth just looks her dead in the face and goes, you can go straight to hell.
But as we've learned from WWE history, backstage politics and real-life circumstances have a way of ruining even the most perfect-looking plans. And this is, again, what was said in the podcast, so don't take the word for it. But apparently, Michelle McCool's backstage influence reportedly kept her involved in the title picture longer than planned. And when Karma revealed her real-life pregnancy, the entire storyline was scrapped. But if you think about it, like timeline-wise, I'm not really sure how this makes sense because Michelle actually left WWE as Karma was coming in. Remember, Karma's debut was Michelle's goodbye to WWE, right? And Gail, who's known for her legendary feud against Karma, aka Awesome Kong in TNA, later confirmed that she was supposed to be Karma's first singles match in WWE, with her losing rather unceremoniously.
They did want me to be her first singles match, but everyone knows that she ended up getting pregnant at that time. And so I just took it as a blessing from God because I felt like God protected our legacy together.
Karma's WWE run ended rather abruptly, and fans were left with just a glimpse of what could have happened when she briefly returned in the 2012 Royal Rumble. This feud really had the potential to redefine the women's division in an era where it was often treated as an afterthought. Instead, unfortunately, fans are left wondering how epic this would have been. Also, a side note, but there was a rumor going around at the time too that Kelly was the one puppeteering Karma all along, citing she was the only one Karma wasn't attacking, right? There are not much legs to this rumor, and Kelly also said she heard nothing about this.
I didn't actually know. I had no idea. I just remember every week she would pick girls apart, and it was always me left there. Yeah. And her just kind of giving me the eye and never really doing anything, just kind of messing with me. But I didn't really know what the point was of it. I didn't understand, and it was like a big secret, right?
Could have been really interesting too. Now, before the biggest what if moment, for some honorable mention, we got Becky Lynch in the maternity ward, Emelina, Chrissy Vane as Tori Wilson's jealous little sister situation, the all-female Shield, Sable as Undertaker's bride, and Chyna as the WWF champion. Alright, so the number one scrapped storyline is SmackDown as an all-women's show. Alright, so picture this, SmackDown, but with only women. According to Bruce Pritchard and his Something to Wrestle With podcast, WWE initially pitched the idea in 1999 to spotlight its growing women's division with SmackDown. The show would have featured top stars like Chyna, Sable, Jacqueline, giving all the women a dedicated platform during the peak of the Attitude Era. It could have been groundbreaking for sure, giving women the chance to take center stage at a time when their TV appearances were often limited to a few minutes per episode. However, concerns over roster depth and audience appeal led WWE to abandon this concept in favor of a co-ed format.
We definitely discussed it and we looked at it. We just didn't have the talent depth to do an entire 1 hour and do it consistently week after week. But we definitely have discussed that many times throughout the years.
While SmackDown's success is undeniable, fans can't help but wonder how different women's wrestling might have looked if this bold experiment had come to life. Would women's wrestling have gained more respect earlier? Yeah, this definitely seems like a missed opportunity to change the game long before the women's evolution and all-women's shows like NXT's all-women's season in 2010, Total Divas, Mae Young Classic, and all-women's pay-per-view Evolution. It's a what could have been moment that's still leaving fans shaking their heads. By the way, speaking of all-women's show, another side note, Evolution 2 was originally pitched to Ronda Rousey for her to have her match one-on-one with Becky Lynch.
Well, they offered to bring it back for a second time. They said, Ronda, if you stay after WrestleMania, we'll have another Evolution in 6 weeks and have you and Becky as a singles.
But Ronda was unable to do it because she got injured during WrestleMania match. Ronda does agree with us, though, that Evolution 2 can still happen without Ronda, so. WWE, what's going on? So there you have it, top 10 scrapped women's wrestling storylines that had us screaming, why didn't this happen? Which one of these storylines do you think is the most missed opportunities? Let us know in the comment section below. And special thanks to the writer and researcher of this episode, James. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can find me at DShin on Instagram and Ring the Bell DS on Twitter, and I'll see you next time. Bye!